This 2025's Chainsaw Man Reze Arc cut through the competition.
Or does he leave his chains at home? Find out next on the cutting room floor.
Slicing through your face.
What's up, Misfits and Metalheads, and welcome to another episode of the cutting room floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I'm Roseblood.
And today we are talking about Chainsaw Man, the movie. Reze Arc. I had to wear the chainsaws today. Check it out.
You can get your own chainsaw covered shirt if you'd like.
You mean this thing?
Yes, this thing. You can get your own beautiful chainsaw wielding dolly head covered in blood and roses in our store and on Bandcamp as well, I believe.
That's right.
You know, if you're feeling like you really need your own chainsaws, you can totally. have
And
that.
don't forget, we have music all over the place. Go check us out, give us some streams and some comments on our videos right here on YouTube. Rose, why don't we dive into this one? Why don't you tell them a little bit about it? Currently streaming on Crunchyroll.
Well, Chainsaw Man Reze Arc is a direct sequel to the first season of Chainsaw Man. They decided that this story, you know, the complexities of it would just flow so much better as a movie as opposed to trying to like chop it up into little episode pieces. And I think that was actually a very good choice. This movie is kind of again, it's a continuation of Denji's story. Denji is a poor teenager who has had a very rough life, and his life gets better and also worser when he ends up getting a devil heart that basically turns him into a living chainsaw. He's got chainsaws coming out the arms, chainsaws coming out his face. It's just like he's just ripping and a tearing, okay? Like he becomes basically a half devil, and these supernatural beings are what people have to fight against, and they cause all manner of mayhem and gore and trouble.
They sure do.
These
They'll
things
rip people to shreds. They do not care.
They do not give a crap about human life whatsoever. And it is a wild show that is known for crazy enemies and crazy violence. And I think that a lot of people in the first season of Chainsaw Man, some of the things that they said were, well, this I do like this, the art is amazing, this and that is cool. I just wish Denji was more of a character. I wish he had more to him besides just obviously he's a teenage boy, so he is trying to get his first licks in as far as just
romantic interest or anything.
So he's kind of upset.
Been struggling. He's been on the
kind of
streets.
obsessed with them yams.
Scraps, so
he kind of obsessed with them yams. His goal is he has very simple teenage boy goals, but he has a very difficult life, unfortunately, within which to try to cram these very normal human experiences that we all can relate to and we all understand as just a necessary part of growing up. So this is definitely kind of it's an oddly violent coming of age story.
It is, isn't it? So I thought this character, Denji, just really amusing in the show, and I liked him and all, but I definitely saw the limitations of his character growth within the show. But granted, you only have so much time to tell what you're going to tell, right? So I love how in this movie, it actually really develops Genji as a character that you genuinely start feeling for. Like if you haven't been feeling for him before, I feel like you definitely do now. And if you were already feeling for him, then it just really tugs on your heartstrings. The character development and writing in this particular movie was quite surprising to me. I did not expect to see such growth from this Denji character, and I love this character, but I was not expecting the characters to drag me in as deep emotionally as they did in a movie as over the top violent and crazy as Chainsaw Man. what a crazy surprise. They spent a lot of time on these characters and this story. It was actually quite amazing.
It should be noted that this was produced by MAPPA, the very famous Japanese animation studio, and in my opinion, the best. They just create really beautiful.
They crush it. Yep.
They create really beautiful animation. So this is going to be second to none animation. I mean, this is insane. Yep. Like it is beautiful. It's violent. It's crazy. Like it is wild. Like I do recommend that you watch the first season of Chainsaw Man. It's not that long. You know, you can knock that out pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I do recommend that you watch Chainsaw Man.
I would recommend that also.
Because there's just certain intricacies. Like I said, it is a direct sequel. So it's literally like expecting you to know what happened before. You could go into it blind, but you would have a lot of questions. And then you would be bugging your friend who actually took the time to watch the show. So I do recommend that you
I think it'll be a lot more enjoyable if you already have some of the backstory of like his actual origin, because they're not going to hold your hand until, I mean, they do kind of like small, kind of like, you know, this is what happened, but it's not very long, so it's better to know going in advance.
Yeah, and as far as I just wanted to quickly go over some of the stuff. So the story was, of course, written by, you know, the original manga was written by Tatsuki Fujimoto, but the screenwriter for this, the reason why the writing is, you know, touched you so much and it was so well done, is that the screenwriter who adapted the manga for this, you know, for the show and for this movie, he is basically like one of the heaviest hitters of screenwriting in anime, because wait till you hear the list of animes that this man has screenwritten for, okay? So his name is Hiroshi Seko, and he has screenwritten for Attack on Titan, Mob Psycho 100, Vinland Saga, Jujutsu Kaisen, Ajin. Remember Ajin?
I loved Ajin, yeah.
Zom 100. Don to Don.
Did I see everything this guy's done? This is crazy.
Yes.
Like
Don to Don.
So
and I think
crazy.
Don to Don is really where you know, him writing for that one, I feel very similar if you are a fan of Don to Don. The scene where they're in the car and he kind of skirts his little pinky over to like put his little pinky on her pinky, and like, you know, like that really sweet, tender moment, that's the kind of moments you're gonna get in this, which is shocking because, you know, you kind of watch the show and he's, you know, obviously a very simple, he's an illiterate street kid, you know, he has had a hard life and he's never been to school, he's never had normal kid experiences.
Yeah, Denji had a rough.
You know, he is. It's very sad, actually, you know, if you really stop and think about it. And his best friend is a little chainsaw dog named Pochita that is super cute. He's one of the cutest things ever. I want a little cute graphic of him to be floating right here so I can be like, mwah, I love you, Pochita. He's the cutest. So anyway, it was also directed, the director for Chainsaw Man Reze Arc is Tatsuya Yoshihara, who is also the director for Restoria Wand and Sword, which is one of our absolute favorites.
So good, yes.
Some of the new anime right now.
Man, they got some heavy hitters on this movie.
Restoria Wand and Sword. Yeah, no, and the action in that is choreographed incredibly. So this is just like, you know, like they really lavished
this
some
makes
attention.
A lot more sense. They got some top-notch
They got some real top-notch people behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And this movie had absolutely no business making me cry as much as it did. The amount of tissues that I went through, I was not expecting from watching that first season. So watch that first season and know that, you know, if you feel like, you know, oh, this is cool, but I wish they fleshed out Denji, you're gonna get Denji.
You're
gonna
see depth for the characters.
Yeah.
Watch the first season and get to the movie. That's when you really get like the depth. It's crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it kind of does all entirely center around his heart. And I mean that both literally and figuratively, because basically, due to the events in the series that happened, you know, in season 1 of the anime, basically everybody's after him now. in the movie, everyone is trying to kill him to get his devil heart, because his devil heart turned out to be insanely OP, and super strong, and like everybody wants it, so he's basically like, just being hunted really by these devils who are super powered supernatural beings.
Like, can Denji catch a break?
Yeah. My man cannot catch a break. So there's a really good line in it where he's just like, everybody wants to get my devil heart, but what about my heart? What about Denji's heart? And that's what you're going to get with this. And you're going to see a whole nother side to him. So all of that being said,
it's time to slap a rating on this movie.
Yes. And how do we rate here?
We rate with the chainsaw system, with 5 chainsaws being a masterpiece of horror. 1 chainsaw, well, that's not even getting Denji out of the door. I'm sorry. It's just it's not gonna make the shirt.
He can't even clip his toenails with that thing. It's not doing nothing.
Nope, it's not doing nothing.
So, how many chainsaws, Storm Black, will you give to Chainsaw Man Reze Arc?
I am going to give Chainsaw Man Reze Arc a whopping 5 out of 5 chainsaws. 5! I gotta say, I'm a little stingy with my 5s, but this movie, this is a no-brainer 5 for me. Like, I absolutely loved this movie. The writing is so engaging. I have to tell you, I am blown away by the character development in this movie. I can't believe it. I wasn't expecting it to get so deep from just from the first season that I've seen. And granted, I highly enjoyed the first season.
Oh yeah.
But it could be a little lighter at times on the characters, on at least on Denji, than I wanted, and they totally took care of that. Talking about oh man, my mind is blown by how good the story was, especially for this particular series.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely love it. Totally recommend this movie. The art is amazing. The animation is out of hand. The enemy that he is fighting in this thing is just bonkers. It's just like, if you like anime, this is a movie you have to watch. Go and watch the first season if you haven't seen it. Do yourself a favor and watch this movie. Rose,
all right.
What are you going to give this one?
Well, I am going to have to follow up your glowing recommendation with another glowing recommendation, because guess what? This gets 5 from me. 5 bloody running chainsaw. Okay, because this is it's just super well done. Amazing characters. I didn't get to talk about Reze. Reze is a very, very interesting character all on her own. And she has her own in-depth story. And she is a really tragic character as well.
Reze is a huge part of the character development and just the beauty of the storytelling of this movie.
This thing hit me like a freaking Mack truck.
Surprisingly, this movie hit me more than live action movies. This is crazy,
Especially after, having seen that first season.
Right.
So if you want to see an anime that's going to have you talking and thinking about it later on, this is actually the one. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think that from seeing that first season of the anime, but the movie took it to some incredible, beautiful depths that I was not expecting. I was not expecting my heart to hurt that much.
I was not expecting this much out of this movie.
Yeah.
I genuinely wasn't. And I was going into it positively. I was expecting to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I still wasn't expecting as much as I got out of this movie.
It was crazy. It was wild. It was wild. So,
you got your homework for the weekend. You're welcome. Don't forget, we are from the band Cut Like This. We got music videos, all this stuff all over the place. Hook our band up, like, subscribe, follow. That's gonna be all from us today. We are out.